fixes the problem.
Hello.
Okay, so we're live.
Yeah,
Hi.
we're live. Okay.
Yes.
Hello. Hi,
Once
Martina. How are
again.
you?
Hi. I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay,
And you?
that's really good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Still the same. Trying to get myself busy every day at home.
Yeah. What are
Staying
you doing
indoors.
at the moment?
Well, basically, right now I'm trying to finish up as much as exams that I can possible.
Okay. Yeah. You're
So
studying.
yeah, because this is the best time for me to actually finish up my exams. So in the future, I won't have any, the tight schedule to do my
Yeah.
exams and everything. So this time, I think for this kind of the things, if you're a student, I think this is the best time to acquire new skills or like finish up your studies and everything. What about you? What are you doing these days?
Well, I'm pretty busy with teaching.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm planning lessons, doing lessons like every day. I have some days in which I have 4 lessons per day. So I'm pretty busy. I'm
Great.
happy and super grateful that I am so busy.
Yeah, that is really
And yeah,
advantage right now.
that's really good. I'm working out a little bit, like half an hour every day. Just
Okay, that's
to,
really great.
yeah,
That is
like
fantastic.
super easy workout, super basic. I'm not like a sporty person,
Mhm.
but I'm trying to do something every day, not at the
Okay,
weekend.
that is
Like
really
the
good.
weekend is off for
Yeah, obviously. Like
off.
for me, it's also the same. Like I do everything, but on the weekends, I still keep my weekends as a weekend. Like
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't change the rule of the weekend. Like Sunday is for me is a Sunday. I don't
Yeah.
nothing but to sleep. That's it. Like
Exactly.
I do everything. Like I would put everything in order not to to help me not to get out of bed. Like
Yeah,
anything possible. Like that's the only reason I can actually
exactly.
watch the Sunday. Exactly.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Go on, please. I thought.
Yeah, and I thought that it could be also the perfect time, like to plan some, like to write down a plan for new trips, new holidays,
Oh,
for
it's great.
when we'll have the possibility to
No,
travel
exactly.
again.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, the
because
thing is, like, the basic problem actually is the traveling part was really, for me, was actually like this year, 2020, was supposed to be my traveling year. But
ah,
we hit a, like a bad luck with that, and like most of the things that I planned got cancelled. Like one of,
of
for
course.
example, I had a ticket to go to Tomorrowland. I don't know if you heard about
Oh
Tomorrow.
yeah, is
Yeah,
it in the Netherlands?
yeah. No, it's in Belgium. It's in Belgium.
In Belgium.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
I was supposed to go there, and I even like booked the tickets and everything because like uh, Tomorrowland is like an amazing experience if you're like into music. Like I'm not a really, especially not into raves or like really big
Yeah,
festivals.
but
Like
that's completely
Tomorrowland,
different, I think. Like
sorry.
anyone could, I think that's a completely different festival that
Yes, yes.
anyone can
Tomorrowland is a
go
whole new
and
experience
enjoy.
for world
Yeah.
music. Like actually, it's like the best thing is like it's not only one day. It's usually a weekend. It's like
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3 days. But like two days ago, yeah, we received an email that unfortunately even Tomorrowland got cancelled this year, and they're gonna take place
When
next.
was it planned for?
Sorry,
When was the festival planned?
it was in July this year.
Okay.
It was in July. It was supposed to be in July, but 2 days ago they just sent us an email, refunded back all the monies and everything. But for those who want to still keep the tickets for next year, there's possible. But if you want to get a
Okay.
refund, you can actually get a refund.
Did
So
you get a refund?
yeah, I got the refund
Okay.
and everything. So because I applied from my Erasmus. Hi, Maral.
Hey,
Did you hear us?
can you hear us?
Hi, Maral.
Hey.
I think okay.
No, I
No,
think
we
she
still
has
have
some.
like just a
Yeah.
technical issue with the laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So basically, actually, before we start, first of all, to all of our viewers right now, please hit the like button on Facebook page of WorldBridge. Also, try to turn on the notification about the live session, so you can always be notified like a couple of minutes or a couple of days before a live session. You can actually be the part of it fully. And today we decided to speak about traveling, since we brought it up actually about planning a travel or like try to plan your holiday, plan to your trips and everything, and for the future. And now it's the best time because now you're doing everything for yourself to in order to get the 3 days in the future. So I think traveling is the most important part in a person's life because it makes you get to know cultures. It makes you find yourself. Actually, the most, I think, from in my opinion, traveling is about finding yourself, because you put yourself in so many different situations that you're going to be in the situation, and then you're going to realize what are you and who are you and what you want to be or what you want to do. Because once you travel, especially like so many people say like they don't like to travel alone, but I think traveling alone is the best experiment that you can try, you can have.
I completely agree.
Yeah, because when you travel alone, you decide everything. Traveling with a group of people, it's always there's so many conflicts, because they want to do this, some people want to do another thing, and then they just hit a conflict, and it's like, it's not a bad thing. Like so many groups, like me and my friends, we used to be like super okay with everything. We were like okay with every kind of plan, so it was fun. But like there's so many people like who decide to have the travel, and then they hit a conflict. Some people want to go out, some people want to stay in, they want to go to like do anything.
And the risk in that situation, the risk is that you don't enjoy your travel.
Exactly.
And maybe you have like craved that travel so much.
Exactly.
And then you end up like really wasting your time with people who don't want to do the same things that you'd like to do, and you don't enjoy it. So sometimes I think that either you find like the perfect, hey,
Hello. How are you? Okay, that's great. That's
Hi,
great to have you back.
Sorry.
Okay. No. It's like actually me and Martina were talking about the advantages of traveling, like the whole concept of traveling. I said that I think the best thing about traveling is that you can find yourself, because you put yourself in a lot of different situations with different cultures, with different locations, and it makes you, actually find what you really want deep down in your heart.
Yeah.
So we were talking about that. Do you have any idea, like, what's your idea about traveling?
Yeah, it's me, myself, and I out there.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, actually, let's say my ideal. No, not the ideal. Let's say that my dream is to travel by myself, and actually, it's something that I've done many times in the past. Yeah, and.
What was it like? When was the last time you actually traveled for real? Like travel?
Well, if by traveling you mean moving from from point A to point B,
yes. Let's say you went to another country, not another city. Let's say.
Okay. Probably was 2 years ago. I was in Jordan all by myself.
Oh wow, nice.
For 5 days.
Okay.
Yes.
Was it good for you?
Sorry?
Well, how was it? Like, did you enjoy it? It was by yourself, so you probably have to enjoy it.
Well, the desert is my place.
Oh, okay. You love it.
I could spend weeks, months, years.
You felt like a desert traveling, like you really like that.
Well, I'm not a desert traveler, but
no, I mean, like, if you want to put
myself
a priority, you would put the desert again. If you want to put it as like a list as a priority, you would put desert in the beginning.
I would put nature.
Nature. Okay. All right. Perfect. Nice. All right. That's really great. So
nature and people. So rural communities, really desert places.
All right. So I think like you must have
not
loved
really mainstream. Yeah, I'm not that kind of,
all right. So it was 2 years ago. What about you, Martina? When was the last time you actually?
Well, the last time I left the country was in January with my boyfriend. We decided to take a long weekend, and we went to Paris.
Okay.
That's a really like a common romantic destination.
Yeah, obviously. Paris.
But I really liked it because we had already been there for a concert.
Okay. I think Martina is also facing a little bit of bad connection. I think this is like a
It's traveling somewhere.
this is actually, I think it's like a main problem because it's not just you guys. Like I think today and yesterday there were so many bad connections. So that's
Yeah.
when she, yeah, like also me, I've had so many problems loading. So it's just the two of us now, yeah, until she comes back. So anyway, let's say today I want to prefer like we all talk about three topics of traveling. Let's say the trip, the trip that you took that actually changed you. Okay, this would be the first topic. The second topic we could go with, let's say, the bad experience, not like a bad or dangerous experience, or anything that it made you like be like, oh my god, this was really bad. Okay, and then the third one, we can talk about the accents of each country that we've traveled. Okay, so basically for me, the last time I traveled outside of Italy, like it was exactly a year ago. It was from February until beginning of the March. I traveled, decided to like, I was done with my first semester exams, and I was like, if I have time, this is the best time for me to travel, to actually go out and like visit everywhere. And the good thing is like my whole family, my relatives, they all like they kind of spread and exploded all over Europe. So I have family in almost every country in Europe. So hence I don't pay for hotels. That is a great advantage that you don't need to pay for accommodation. So I decided to start with Czech Republic. I went to Prague, Czech Republic, exactly last year, February. And that was the trip that actually changed me. Like, I think by far I can say that was the best trip I've ever had in my whole life because I heard so many good things about Prague, Czech Republic, but when you when you go into that city, it's 10 times better than what you were expecting. So I think that trip was the best trip I've ever had in my whole life because first of all, I love cold weather. I prefer to travel into mountains, into snow and everything. Not that I don't like summer vacations like on a beach or on an island. No, that's what I love. But I lived like 10 years of my life like that in Malaysia. So when I was in Malaysia, I was just like going to Bali, Indonesia, going to Laos, and also Malaysia has so many beautiful islands. Like some of
Yeah.
them, are actually, like they call it the Hawaii or
Yeah.
Hawaii of Asia.
You have the Borneo, right? You have the Borneo part.
Sorry.
You know the Borneo area, like that's kind of the piece of land which is absolutely
Exactly. It's like Southeast Asia is exactly basically like a Hawaii of Asia.
Yeah.
Like the water is crystal clear.
People and
Yeah, exactly. For me, it was like that. So I literally spent 10 years of my life traveling over to beaches or islands. And this was my
durian.
yeah, exactly. With durian, exactly. So when I came to Europe last year, when I entered Europe, I was like, okay, this is the time that to visit the cold weather that I wanted. That was the reason I traveled in winter in February because I wanted to see snow. I wanted to see cold weather. I wanted to put on a very nice overcoat and go out. This is like my favorite. Yeah, I love cold weather. I'm in love. I lived in.
That was my problem with Prague. It was too cold for me, and it was
Okay. So
March or April when I.
Nah, for me it was like the best thing that happened. I had a friend over there. So when I went there, we just went to her house. We just dropped our baggages and everything. I just dropped the luggage and everything, and it was around 11:30 at night. So in my mind, I was like, okay, we cannot go out anymore because it's too late. So we should just sleep in and just go out tomorrow. And she told me, no, in Prague there is no there is no closing time for going out. And actually, she was right. The best moment that I had in my life is that in Prague is we went to a liquor shop. We got a bottle of wine, and we were walking on the street around from midnight until 2 in the morning, which was super amazing because the city wasn't dead. The city was super live. People were outside drinking, talking, having a good time.
Like drinking is a problem in Prague. If I may say,
that is like everybody's they love to drink. Like you have no idea. Like you don't see anyone. Yes, exactly. It's like too much, and they have so many pubs and bars, which is like they are open until like 3, 4 in the morning. And the beer in Prague is super cheap. I mean, all the beverages in Prague is super cheap, super cheap. Like I was not expecting that to be that cheap. So basically, one day we were out with like a couple of friends, like 10 people. We went to this pub. All of us ordered minimum of like 2, 3 beers. Just let's say it was totally something around 40 beers. We ordered like 40 beers, all of us with like
How
snacks and
many people
everything.
were you?
10 people. So basically, in the average, each person got like 4 beers, 4 pints. So yeah, but it was a holiday for me. So don't judge me. Welcome back, Martina.
I'm back. Sorry.
Don't worry. Don't worry. It's like as I said tomorrow.
There's a time machine tonight. We're traveling through time.
I'm so sorry, but the connection is super unstable. Like
Yeah, it's like I think it's a whole.
Everybody's watching us.
everybody's watching us. Yeah, that's why.
Everyone's watching us. That is a good reason.
I
Yes.
have a question for you. What did you eat in Prague?
There was
Because
this.
I have an issue with food because I don't.
Okay.
Guys,
Oh,
cheers.
by the way, yes. Cheers.
General.
Cheers to
Sorry, we forgot.
traveling very soon after these days are over. Cheers to all of that. So, in Prague, Martina, we're talking about traveling.
Yeah.
We're talking about the first topic, which is like the the trip that actually changed you. So
Okay.
yeah, for me, it's like I'm talking about Czech Republic, Prague. I
Mhm.
think it was the best trip that I ever took in my whole life. For me, was that one. So basically, Maral, you asked a very good question about the food in Prague. There
Yeah.
have they have so many traditional foods over there, which is I love.
Those.
Yeah, it's like there's one of
Meat,
them.
meat everywhere.
Yeah, it's like basically meat and potato is like
Potato is there.
yeah, very main thing, and like it's a very common thing in all of the foods. There was this.
No, goulash is not from Prague. It's
It's
from
Polish.
It's no, it's not
It's not. Isn't it Polish
from Hungary or from. Well, it's
or Yeah, maybe it's from Hungary.
The food, the main
Yeah,
food that
let's
I
Google
tried
it.
over there, it was like a plate of meat, 2 pieces of meat, but they were deep inside the gravy. Like there was so much
a
gravy.
cup of meat
Yes.
with a slice of meat wrapped by meat.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's just meat, but it was like full spread of gravy on it, and they usually serve it with a plate of potato or on like next to it.
Of course.
Fish.
Yeah.
But I love that. It was really delicious, and you always have to eat your food with a beer over there. Like
I had to go to a Thai restaurant to have proper meal.
oh, you didn't like the food over there.
Proper for me means a green meal.
So you didn't like the food in Prague.
But I don't eat meat generally.
Oh, okay, you don't eat meat.
That's
Yeah,
the
so yeah, obviously that Prague is not a good food traveling area for you because like it's just full of meat and everything. That's it. That is a basic thing. So. The other thing is like about Prague, they have this traditional
Goulash.
in Italian we say dolce sweets. It's called trednik. It's like trednik, something like that. It sounds really weird.
So with no vowels in the middle.
Yes, there is no vowel. There's absolutely no vowel. I remember that. So it's like how do I say? It's like a croissant, but not a croissant, but it's like
Let me croissant. Let me guess.
No. It was a croissant. It was like a roll, and inside of it, they have their own traditional chocolate, melted chocolate, and you have to eat it with hot wine.
Okay.
Yes, mulled wine. I don't know in Italian. Mulled wine is
A vin brûlé.
Vin brûlé.
Yeah,
Vin
vino
brûlé.
brûlé, yeah, that one. And that is my favorite drink in winter. And I make also myself.
Your own vin brûlé.
I can't say good, but I can say perfect vino brûlé. I have these secret ingredients that I use in it that makes it super good.
Come on, secret ingredient.
It's
We
love.
want it now.
Secret ingredients is love. You gotta show love to the food, so the food can show back. So anyway, basically, everywhere in Prague, there are so many stands and stalls, like especially in the city center, that they sell like traditional food, traditional sweets, and also hot wine. So we were walking on the street from 8 to 12, and every, like, let's say 50 meter, 100 meter, there was like a stall of like hot wine. We get a hot wine, super cheap. It was like one glass of hot wine over there is like €2. And I was like, why not? Exactly, like, why not?
Why
Because
not?
why not? Exactly. That is actually my punchline over wine. It's like, why not? Exactly. For me, it was really amazing because I traveled so many areas in Prague and also countryside, like on the outside of the city. And there was this place that you have to go on the top of the mountain, and they have this special area that you can stand over it. And when you stand there, almost the world is like beneath you. You can see
Oh,
everything.
super cool.
Yeah, it's like when you stand there, when you look at that, you just realize how small, how tiny of a place the world that you live in you occupy. And that made me really like realize that, oh my God, this is
No,
absolutely
please
nothing. Like when we say we
connection.
travel, I think we're losing Martina again, Maral. So
Martina, come
yeah,
back to us.
come back to us, please.
Martina, look at me.
Like a puppet over there.
Martina, quando lo dico io? Martina. Martina.
Roberta says, "Hi guys, you rock. Thank you so much. You rock too, Roberta."
Hi, Roberta.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, for me, this area, this topic, that the travel, the trip that changed you for me was Czech Republic.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Oh, no, okay. Go on. Feel free to eat. No problem with that. So for me, it was Prague because first of all, it was snowing the whole day. The whole time it was snowing, and the weather was amazing. The
In
food-
March?
in February, exactly 12th of February, I went there, and then after Prague, I went to Germany, and then from Germany, I went to Sweden to see
Hi
my
again.
welcome back. It's like we're giving you a shock to give you back life, you know.
Yeah.
Time travel. Hi, Martina.
So basically, for me, it was Prague. What about you, Maral? What can you say? Like, which trip?
Life changing. I don't want to sound too deep or
Okay.
anything, but I think that every time I travel, a change occur. You know, like I don't think there is a life changing trip. There's not one, at least there's not one single
Oh, okay.
that I can define as such. You know, I felt change every time after a trip. So, but I can say that, I mean, the first time I traveled by myself, it was not the first time. Well, I was 18, and then again, I went to Spain. Do you know the Interrail? In Italy, we have something called Interrail, which is like basically you buy
An open
a train ticket.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like valid everywhere in Europe. So it's divided into different areas.
We have something like that.
There's
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that.
No.
Yeah.
Interrail, and you can travel everywhere
In the whole Europe.
within the area, but I mean, there's also Europe, you know, as
No,
an
I mean
area.
like in EU area, like in
EU,
Europe.
yeah, let's say EU, yeah,
Oh,
but that,
okay.
by then it was Morocco, Spain, and Portugal,
Okay.
and that was the first
Cool.
time I traveled with like 3 friends, and it was the first time. So I don't know how it really went. Like I cannot say, oh, I had so much fun or anything, but just because it was the first time and we like everything seemed so difficult, you know, the little like daily challenges seemed so big. So I don't know if that was the best one of the life changing, but that definitely pushed me. Yeah, let's say pushed is the right word. Pushed me into wanting to travel by myself forever.
Oh yeah, obviously. If you can check the comment, see what we did right
Yeah.
now. Like we just made people want to travel. Like yeah,
And then I
basically.
found myself in Canada. Like I was supposed to. That's a long story. I was in Dubai and I met this guy. He was from Canada, and we had to say something. And then 3 or 4 months later, I decided to follow him. Like he lived in Canada. He was from Canada, and I decided to follow him, just to spend the summer with him. But then 2 weeks before my departure, he called me and said, "Oh my God, this is live, Facebook Live, so probably he might be
it's okay. It's okay. No worries. No worries.
you know what happened?" And I said, "Yeah, what happened? I'm leaving in 2 weeks. I'm reaching you, young and nice." And yeah, he said, 2 weeks ago, I went to
I
this
got
girl,
married.
and I said, "Yes, yeah, tell me more. How fun." I went to this girl, yes.
That was his loss. Don't worry.
This girl, yes, and yes, we had something, and yes, don't worry, I'm leaving anyway, Yes, but she's pregnant and she wants to keep the baby.
Oh, okay.
Jaw dropping.
Wow. Yeah, I was not expecting that. Yeah.
No. And
you should have a live session just about that story. I want to know the rest of the story.
I was full of
Episode 4.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I had a 3-month ticket.
Oh
3
wow. And you couldn't refund it. I mean,
No. And I said,
that is really bad. Yeah, that is really bad.
and I was like, okay, give me 5 minutes. I
Let me
tell
go
you.
To process, like,
let me go scream my lungs out.
Then I called him back and I said, you know what? Canada existed before you.
and Canada will exist
Oh,
after
I'm
you.
living
Answer.
anyway. So I'm living anyway. And I left. And I spent 3 months by myself in Canada, meeting so many people, and I have to thank him. So if you're there somewhere online, thank you, because I spent, I had the time of my life, and
Obviously, yeah. We can say that was a trip that changed you.
it changed my life because I realized that I don't. That life
You don't need anyone
exactly.
to travel.
3 months.
You got us. You don't need anyone.
But the fact is, I didn't have enough money to spend 3 months by myself. So hitchhiking, meeting people,
I
blah,
think
blah, blah.
that is the best thing. Like you're on your own. You don't have any kind of support. So basically, I think that is the time to find yourself. This is the time that you can know what to do. So basically, that was a really great story. Really, I want to know the rest of the story later. Like that was. We should have our own.
He had an amazing son, and that woman, she. But yes,
that was a good thing.
it was not the love of my life, definitely. But it was the
if it at the end it was good, then it was a good trip. Always like that. So let's go, Martina. What about you? What was the trip that changed?
Martina disappeared. She's blocked. She's not there.
She's not there. Oh my god! Because I can't see.
The story breaks her heart.
I think she couldn't handle the story. All right, so no problem. She's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
With a drink.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was magic. Martina, while you're alive here right now, can you tell us what about your trip?
Well, I think that I haven't done my life-changing trip yet, probably. But I can say that I've started traveling, not really alone, but not with my family very soon, because when I was in high school, the school had some school trips during the summer, and I went to those school trips almost every year. and I traveled with some of my classmates, some were other students from the school. And so those were the first trips like by myself, but not alone. So not with my family. And I think that thanks to those trips, I really grew up a lot because, you, as you were saying, you are alone and you have to get things going. And like just like the simple fact of I have to take the bus and I have to find the place where to buy the ticket, or I have to be able to read a map by myself and go around the city by myself. So I think that traveling at not a super young age, but at a young age is very good for teenagers because they can really grow and they can, yeah. And then, like my very first trip alone was, I like traveling by myself. Okay,
that is
but for a very long
really
time.
good one,
Yeah,
Jim.
but for a very long time, like the first time I traveled by myself was when I went to Ireland as an au pair girl, and I stood there for 2 or 3 months. And
Okay.
then again, 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to go to Spain. I said, okay, this summer I have 4 months of nothing.
Okay.
Okay, I had nothing to do. So I said, okay, I'm going to Spain. I prepared like all my CVs and I went there for 3 days. I asked for a job. I found a job.
Oh, nice.
So I started looking for a house. I found a house and I moved in.
And she's gone.
Again,
Yeah.
if you like our live, those who are watching us, you can share our live now.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Oh yeah, yeah. Like if anybody's like to all the viewers, it's possible to share the video for your own friend list of friends, so they can actually join these live sessions and they can get the all the details of your sharing together, which is really I think is very useful. So let's go to the second topic. I think we got the moral of the story for Martina. Okay, so see that she found
now
that.
there should be. We have a guest now,
Oh, we have
and
that.
we should have a guest. A guest was yeah.
Okay, let's.
Ah,
Sarah, hello.
Hi,
How are you, Sarah?
I'm
long
good.
time
How are
supporter
you
and fan.
guys?
My
What?
sister also. Yeah, I was just introducing you.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I want to hear that. Please introduce her.
So hello
Please
everyone.
do so. Yeah, please introduce
Everyone,
me.
this is not my sister.
Yeah, no, there is no family relation here. Nothing.
No family relation. And yes,
Yeah,
welcome to our live.
thank you. Finally, I can speak. It's been quite a while.
Yeah,
I've been just commenting. I've been just commenting. What?
We always follow your comments over the share stories.
Also,
Amazing.
your fake comments, entering the live with my fake, dad's account.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
My
actually
dad
got that.
asking what is Tinder. My dad
Yeah,
asked
like when you got that, when I saw the comment of your dad,
what
that
is
he was
Tinder.
there, and I was
I don't know what Tinder is.
God.
I have like 3 or 4 devices here in the house, so I logged in with my dad's and my mother's, and I was having tons of fun.
Okay, perfect. Sarah, we're talking about traveling.
Yeah.
I believe you saw the first topic, which was the travels that changed us. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we are moving to the second topic, is calling about the bad experiences that we had over the traveling part. And she's
Okay.
alive.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Martina.
Okay, guys, I'm just, we'll be watching you.
Yeah, don't worry.
And that's it.
Don't disappear.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
also
to
switch.
try to like whenever you're like every 10 seconds give a shake to your head so we know you're there. Because like when you just there,
Okay.
I kept talking to you for like about 2 minutes and I didn't know you're not
No.
there. So basically the second topic it's good to talk about is like not a very bad thing, but like as like a bad experience that made you super exhausted over the trip. So for me, it was the trip I took with my brother to the country called Laos. Okay, Laos is a very small country between Vietnam and Philippines.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not an island, so there's no water. It's just a city. It's just a country. So, and we needed to go there in order to, because in Malaysia, when we wanted to renew our visa, we needed to exit the country and come back. So this is like a law, very ridiculous law that they have.
You're
So
basically forced to travel.
yeah, but that was a good point. And Laos is super cheap. Like I'm not actually exaggerating. It's super cheap. Like with 1,000 euros over there, you can live with like have a luxurious life for 2 months, like that kind of cheap. So it's super cheap. We wanted to go to the capital, but there was no ticket, so we decided to go to another city that there was a flight from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So we go there. I had no idea about the country. I had no information. I just wanted to go and come back really fast because I had to take care of my business back in Malaysia. So we go there, we get the tickets, we got the hotel, which I checked the hotel. I found a really good hotel, like a 4-star hotel, and it was like over the river. Because in Laos, there is a very big river that comes from Thailand and it goes down to the ocean. Like it happens.
Wait. There's the.
I don't remember the name though, but it's a super big river and it's super wide.
No, go on.
No, go on when you remember.
I'm leaving you for 3 seconds.
Yeah. So basically, we went there, and then the hotel had like sent us a transportation and everything, so we could actually.
No.
Yes. I think that's something like that. It has a weird name. I don't know, but it was something like that, really close. Yeah. So basically, we got our transportation, and I was expecting the city to be like a city. That city was no city. There was only one street, which was the main street, and then at the end of the street there was the river, and our hotel was on the other side of the hotel. So I thought our hotel is on the city side of the hotel, but it was on the jungle side. There was just jungles. There was nothing else but our hotel in the middle of the jungle. And that was it for us. So we go there, and I was expecting to see some, modern things. There was nothing modern over there. There was absolutely nothing modern. We go there. We go to this bay, it was like a kind of like a platform bay, and there was supposed to be a small boat coming from the other side of the river from the hotel to this side of the hotel, pick us up, and then take us to the hotel. So the boat comes, and we get to the boat. We go to the other side, and the receptionist was in the hotel, was told us that the last time you can get the boat to go from this side of the river to the hotel, it's at 11 o'clock at the night. Because in Laos, there was a rule that everything has to be closed by 11. After 11, if you're out, you're on your own. You have there's no safety, there's nothing. You don't have any guarantee over anything. So it was like, okay, let's do it. We went to the hotel and we came back to the city, but the city market was amazing. Like there was a very long street with people were selling like handmade stuff, and there was like food, like so many food stalls, and mostly amazing foods, like greasy food, like everything. Like food was amazing. And the most famous food over there was sandwiches. They made the best sandwiches I've ever had in my life. It was really good. So the first night we go there and we are having fun, and then we get to this stall that they actually were like, there was this guy who was like, this is the traditional drink of Laos. We didn't know that. I don't know, have you heard about this drink, like the drug called magic mushroom?
No.
So we didn't know that
I don't do drugs. I'm
it
sorry.
was legal in Laos, and we didn't know that the traditional drink is actually
The magic
mushrooms. We didn't know that. So me and my brother, we got
not the traditional one. It's
hallucination. It gives you hallucinations. So we didn't know that. I didn't know that. That was like the only time I tried.
So you got something like without even knowing what it is, and you just
we just got it because they said it's a traditional drink. Like we didn't know.
cheap.
But
was cheap, and we were young, and we were traveling.
Such a fun people.
So we take the dream. Nothing happened. We go to the other side of this the river. We go to our hotel. It's around 12 at the midnight. We go there. I'm just laying down on the couch inside our room, and then suddenly my brother starts walking inside the room, like just walking and talking to me. And I just look at him, and I see him super HD. Like everything was amazingly high definition. Like everything was HD. I'm talking about HD. And basically, so, and then something on the wall, this like started to be like a cartoon. Like there was the shadows of the light was something like a cartoon. I ignored it. I was like, no. This is just my own thing. I think I'm too tired. I'm seeing some really weird stuff. And then suddenly my brother started talking nonsense. He was talking about a story he did like 5 years ago. And he couldn't finish the story. He was talking about the story. In the middle of the story, he would go to the balcony for 10 minutes and come back to the room and be like, okay, where was I? He did that for 3 hours until 3 in the morning, and I did not hear the rest of the story. That was it. That was like the thing. And then unfortunately, there was no reception. There was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. It was a jungle. It was a river. On the other side of the river, it was a city. My whole mind was, what if he dies? Like, what if he dies? What am I supposed to do? There's nothing here. So I was like, okay, let's just keep it cool. Let's just make it really okay. And then unfortunately, there was this little fly in our room that was flying around. And my brother thought that fly is an angel of the Lord who came down to get him upstairs. So he was talking to me about that. He was like, Sam, I think this is my time. My time has come. I need to Okay, I was laughing at the same time. I was really worried because I was super stressed that the drink didn't affect me that much. I was just seeing super HD and some bit of like a cartoon voice on the wall. But for him, he saw the fly as an angel. And when the fly was on the wall, he was like, I don't want to go now. Now this is not my time. So he threw his shoe to kill the fly. And it didn't hit it. It just broke the lamp over the nightstand. And then I just told him, I think there was something wrong with the drinks they took. I was like, you really think that? Of course it was a drink. So now, long story short, I just put him to sleep. And for 4 hours, I was sitting outside in the balcony looking at the river. And I don't know what I was thinking about, but I was just sitting for 4 hours doing absolutely nothing. That was the most scariest experiment I had in my traveling life. So I think for me it was like that. Sarah, let's talk about you. What was the bad experience you had of traveling?
My sister was there. The only bad experience I had was in Tel Aviv when we got stuck like for 10 hours. As soon as we landed like at 4 p.m.
Where did you land? I didn't get that.
Tel Aviv.
Israel.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
We got there like at 3 or 4 p.m. and then they like arrested us in this room, but it was really
arrested. They just kept us in a room.
Okay, they kept us there. But well, it was scary.
We have an Italian passport, but we were born in Iran. Like we are born in Iran. So
no, you were born in Iran.
True. No, but our surname is Iranian.
You guys know each other too well, really.
Please don't make me Iranian like you. I'm half Italian.
It's the surname. So Italian passport, Milan to Tel Aviv, but that surname kept us.
They actually, of course, they know like our origin. They know it. Okay. And then the fun part was that at some point it was scary at first, but then it got funny because they kept asking me these weird questions like, do you pray or do you drink? I was like, okay, I don't drink normally, but I could use one right now.
Nice. That is a great answer. Lovely.
I don't pray usually, but I could start now.
Yeah, and they were not into kidding, you know. They were like really still and serious, and I was like, okay, that is funny. And then they wanted to see my
going through all
what?
my text, you know.
Yeah. I was getting into it. They wanted to see all of my text messages, and they wanted to know where my mom was. And my sister and I gave, I think we gave like different version. Like I said, my mom is in Italy, and then she said my mom is in Iran. So things got even
Oh,
worse.
people gave different answers.
Yeah, we
Oh
got,
my
yeah.
god. Okay.
It got really, really awkward. And then that was over. Like it's been
So you were there for like 10 hours.
Really less
no,
than an hour.
I
Okay.
think up until 10 p.m. But it was really, really hard.
But you
And
got a sandwich.
well,
Sorry?
yeah. Awesome sandwich with like a
We got a
Ah,
sandwich.
okay. Yeah,
Oh,
obviously.
cheese slice.
There you go, easy sandwich. All right, that was a good one. Okay. How long have we been live for? Wow, 45 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Share
That was
the live, share the live.
Yeah,
But
guys,
we lost
please,
Martina, I guess.
let us grow. So,
Yeah, time traveling.
oh yeah, why not? So basically, the third topic that we wanted to talk about is the the differential of the accents in each country that you guys traveled. So
Mhm.
basically, for me, 10 years I lived in Malaysia. Malaysia is a mix of Chinese accent, Asian accent, which is like a very different from Chinese, and also Indian accent. And it was a very good point for me. It was a super advantage for me because right now, if there is like an Indian person or an Asian person who speaks in English with me, I can fully understand them because I literally lived with them.
Do you think you can understand?
Sorry? I don't get it. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Well,
I
anyway,
don't get Indian accent.
Can you understand?
This is like
no,
they don't nod as
they got
normal people.
they got the
There's
head
this.
nod. Like the head nod is a very normal thing, like in Indian culture. And whatever they
It
say,
took me 2 years to understand whether this was a yes or a no. Like when I was in India.
like
Very,
there's a bit of too much, and then they go normal. Like
what's your name? Where's the road?
so basically, yeah, it was like for me, it was like that. And then when I came to Europe, I think everywhere in Europe except Italy, they have the same accent for English. I'm talking about English. Italy has a whole different accent, which is I think it's amazing. I love the Italian accent when they speak English because it makes it super understandable. Especially if they don't know how to talk about like how to say the words in the English wise. So for me, it was like that. Basically, the accent was really good for me. I think in order to learn English, especially in a foreign country, not an English country, if you guys learn the accent, you can learn the language much more easier because the accent helps you understand much more. Like yes, like that. So, what about you, Sarah? What about you? Talk.
Well, I went in Malta, and they have this weird accent, which is like a combination between Italian and basically Arabic languages all mixed together, and they have really weird accent. I cannot understand, but yeah, I think Italian accent is one of the best ever. But I found the best ever Iranian accent.
Oh yeah,
I love
obviously.
it.
Like, Iranian accent.
I
I
love
think it's the funniest accent out there. I think the Iranian
because
Persian accent is the funniest one out there. There's
yeah,
no
Persian accent because we talk like this, and then
tone
it
and melody.
Iranian
continues.
accent, speaking English or Italian, you mean?
No, speaking English, it's really
English.
funny,
Like,
and then it's really
Hello
thick.
everybody. Hello everybody. I want to tell you that
very
this is
nice.
a
Very
live
nice.
from Maral and Sarah. Welcome everybody and please,
Yeah,
please.
exactly. So basically,
And it's really thick. Like
Please.
you can tell that someone's Iranian from like 10 kilometers
yeah,
away.
Like
It's
that is
really
like.
Don't dare say that someone can tell you're Iranian. Don't dare. We are
One of the-
Iranian. We're not
One of
Iranian.
the great, yeah, exactly. One of the greatest things that we always say, it's basically we always say whenever somebody comes to us and we're like, "Oh, you're Persian," and we're like, "Yes, but I'm not a typical Persian."
It's not a typical. A very good
We
one.
are different. We are different.
Very different. We are
So,
not Iranian, we're Persian.
yeah, basically, I think Sarah is right. The most obvious accent that you can actually guess the country with the accent is Persian, because Persians, they have their own melody and the tone of talking, and which they use the same thing on English and also in Italian. Like even the Italians that they didn't grow up here. They just came here and they learned Italian here, so they still have that accent. The Persian
Like,
accent in
io
Italian.
non riesco a parlare italiano.
Exactly. This is exactly.
And the funny thing is that they never ever lose the Italian accent, the Iranian accent. They never ever lose it.
It's either you have to be like
Why should we? Why should we?
Like my dad's been here for like his whole life and still got this really thick Persian accent, which Italian people like think it's French. I don't know how they think it's French.
French?
Like, I don't know how they go from Persian to French like this. But the thing that I don't like, it's when people like make fun of accents. It's
Like we are doing now.
No, sorry. Like,
exactly. Maral, she was talking about you, not me. I'm not there. I mean,
no. I'm sorry. Not make fun like in a bad way. Like we were doing it just for fun. But when they pointed out that,
so it's
Yeah.
okay. We can do it. We can do it with Persians. We can do it.
like when a native points it out, I don't like it. Like they say,
For
okay.
me, it's like these are stereotypes of each country that they have. Like you cannot change it because it's there. It's been there for thousands of years, like not thousands, but like hundreds of years. People do that. People always do the
For
stereotype.
centuries.
For centuries, we are doing this. Very nice.
We had an empire.
By the way, Maral, do we have any other guests or that's it?
No guest for tonight. No.
No, how come?
No.
All right. So
But we have more guests next week.
okay, perfect. So the next week we're gonna have another guest, and we're gonna have another topic.
From Canada, probably. Like she lives in London, she's from Canada.
Oh, okay. Is Canada? Is this the same Canada?
No, but I can I say from I was watching and it got really like personal at some point, but it was super fun. But I think we are at the end of it.
We're gonna have a private talk about the story.
No, please do tell, because you cannot start something and then you have to tell about it. Spoiler. Either you say it in the next episode, because I will be commenting.
It was not planned.
Canada is a new durian. Okay, no Canadian was hurt during this episode. Okay. Basically, yeah, exactly. So I think that's good for today. It was super fun. We talked about our experience over traveling, the accent, and the bad experiences. So again, hit that like button, everybody who's watching right now. Hit the like button. Try to turn on the notifications over the shares and over the online posts that we always do. And also share the live session.
Please share as much as you can. Okay.
Exactly what she says.
Oh my God! It's like when your parents come over and then you're super embarrassed when my sister talks like, oh my God, please stop! I don't want to be next to my sister. She's super embarrassing. Please stop.
Well, these are absolutely. I'm really happy. I'm the only child, so for me, I don't have.
No, it's awesome. I mean, it's not because my sister's here, but it's awesome having a sister.
No, for me, yeah, obviously, I always wanted to like. If I always say, if I ever wanted to have like a brother or sister, I prefer to have like a twin brother, because just imagine the things you could have done. Oh my God, like that would be the best.
And we our mind, it's not going where you think it's going.
No, what do you mean? Like, no. I don't know what your mind is going. My mind is going to actually having someone who literally can read your mind, because that's true. Like twins can look at each other and actually guess what the other one is thinking, which is the
Really? I will text you about it.
Topic.
I'll text you about it.
Topic. TVs.
Okay. All right, guys. It was really good seeing you. I'll see you all next week. And goodbye to all of our viewers. Thank
Thanks
you
for having me.
anytime, and we all see you next week.
See you next week. Thank
All
you,
right.
Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
Bye, sister.
Martina.
Thanks.
Thanks, Maral.
Bye, Sam.
Let's